again. Welcome. Welcome to class number 112. Yes, sir. Yesterday was class 111. And tomorrow will be class number 113. Yes. But now, today, this is class 112. It comes after 111, and it comes before. It comes before 113. Or which means it falls between class 111 and 113. So welcome, repito, welcome to class 112. All right, yes, were you here yesterday? Excuse me, were you here? Were you here? Were you here? No digas where you. Where you, where is llevar puesto. Where. It's were. Were. Were you, yellow, yedra, you, were you, are you here now? Are you here now? Will you be here tomorrow? Were you here yesterday? Will you be here next week? Next week, la semana próxima, next week. Ahora, escucho como enlazo. Next week, tweak, Twitter, next week, last week, igual. La semana pasada, last week, next week. Practica esto de la conectividad silábica o la fonética, conectividad fonética. Facilita mucho practicando un poco, nada más. Practicando un poco. Next week, last week. Next year, last year, next year, next week, last week. Were you here? Will you be here next week? Yes, you will? Good. Were you here last week? Were you here last week? You were? Are you here now? Hello? Hello, are you there? ¿Estás? Claro, en inglés no puedes decir, ¿estás? Hay que decir, ¿estás allí? O ¿estás aquí? Are you here? Are you here? Are you under the table? Are you behind the camera? I can't see you. Ask me if Marta's here. Richard, yes. Is Marta here? In cuerpo presente, yeah, she's here. Ask me if she was here yesterday. Was she here yesterday? I don't remember. I'm losing my memory. Marta, were you here yesterday? She says, of course I was. Of course she is. She says, of course I was here yesterday. But I'm losing my memory. Yeah, con la edad, ciertas capacidades. Yeah, I'm losing my memory. Yes, Marta was here yesterday. Ask me if she was here the day before yesterday. Richard, was Marta here the day before yesterday? I think so. Marta, were you here? Were you here the day before yesterday? She's nodding her head. She is nodding her head. She's not shaking her head. She's nodding her head. To nod, N-O-D, nod. To nod your head, or to nod. No es necesario añadir your head, my head. Pero solemos añadirlo. I'm nodding my head means I'm saying yes. Asentir con la cabeza is to nod your head, or to nod. He's nodding. He's nodding. I'm nodding. I'm nodding my head. I'm shaking. Shake is agitar. Shake. Shake. Well, shake it up, baby, now. Twist and shout. Shake. Agitar. All right. O temblar. My hands are shaking. I'm nervous. When I'm on television, I'm so nervous that my hands are shaking. Yes. Yeah. To shake. To shake your head is to say no. To nod your head is to say yes. I remember there's an area in Bulgaria and Moldova, there's an area, comarcas in there, where it's the opposite. And there was a problem for the immigration in New York City. In Ellis Island, for the immigrants, the immigration officer was asking questions. And he said, are you in good health? And he said, yes. And the immigration officer didn't understand. And the translator clarified, no, in this area of Bulgaria, people, when they say yes, they shake Escrito shake. They shake their head. Okay. So, Marta, were you here the day before yesterday? Yes, she was. She is nodding her head because she can't speak. Well, she can speak, but she can't speak during this program. I'm the person who does the talking. I do the talking. I'm the person, soy el que hace, se dice el que realiza el hablar. Se dice así en inglés. I'm the one, soy el que, I'm the one who does. Tercer singular. I'm the one who does the talking. I'm the one who does the teaching. I'm the one who does everything here, except camera. Bueno, she does a lot of things, critical for this program. But I'm the one who does the teaching. I do the teaching. I'm the one who does the teaching. All right. Yeah, where were you in 1977? You were here in Madrid. You were in Seville. Where was I in 1977? In 1977, I was here in Madrid. Richard, yes. Where were you? Where were you in August 1977? In August 1977, I was in the U.S. Where? In the U.S., in the United States. I was in the States. Where were you? Where were you during the second week of August 1978? You are asking very specific questions. In the second week of August 1978, I was in Corpus Christi. Corpus Christi. Yeah, I was in Corpus Christi. Where's that? Corpus Christi. It's in Texas. What is it? It's a city. Oh, really? Where is it? Is it near Dallas? No, it's not. Is it near Austin? No, it's not. Where is it? It's on the coast. On the coast? Is it on the Atlantic coast? No, it's not. Is it on the Pacific coast? No, it's not. What coast is it on? It's on the Gulf Coast. The Gulf Coast? El Golfo Pérsico? No. The Persian Gulf? No. The Gulf of Mexico. The Gulf of Mexico. Is it a nice city? Yes, it is. Was it a nice city in 1978? Mejor todavía. Even better. Yes, it was. It was a nice city. A very attractive city in 1978. And why were you in Corpus Christi? Why was I in Corpus Christi? Well, in 1978, because at that time, en aquel entonces, at that time, my parents were living in Corpus Christi. Really? Yes, really, yes. My parents were living. Esto se llama pasado continuo. Mis padres vivían. Mis padres vivieron en varias ciudades. Eso es lo que se llamaba antaño el pretérito indefinido en castellano. Han cambiado la nomenclatura, entonces ya no estoy al día con los nombres ahora. Vivieron en varias ciudades. En el 78 vivían, claro, estoy cambiando. They lived, eso ya veremos el pasado simple en la unidad 18. They lived in several cities. They lived in Houston, Texas. They lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And they lived in Corpus Christi. And they lived in Austin, Texas. They lived in 4 different cities. And they lived in 4 different cities. But in 1978, they were living in Corpus Christi, Texas. Really? Yes, really. And where were they living in 1968, 10 years before? In 1968, my parents were living in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Where's that? In Oklahoma. Okay, well, where's Oklahoma? It's in the United States. Yes, but is it near New York? No, it's not. Is it near California? No, it's not. Is it near Florida? No, it's not. Well, where is it? Well, it's south of Kansas. Al sur de Kansas. Yes, it's south of Kansas. Where's Kansas? Kansas is, bam, right in the middle, right in the center of the United States. Presto, boom, right in the center. Okay. And Oklahoma is south of Kansas and north of Texas. So Oklahoma is between Kansas and Texas. Okay. Is Oklahoma a rich state? Yes, it is. Why is it rich? Excuse me? Why is it rich? It's rich because it has a lot of oil. Oil? Aceite? No. Well, yes, oil. Oil es una palabra genérica que covers petróleo, aceite y aceite vegetal. Vegetal como de oliva, girasol. Oil, petróleo. Oklahoma has a lot of oil. Does Texas have a lot of oil too? Yes, it does. What other states have a lot of oil? In the United States, yes. Okay, well, Texas and Oklahoma have a lot of oil. Pennsylvania has a lot of oil. North Dakota has a lot of oil. Really? And South Dakota, no. No. South Dakota doesn't have a lot of oil. Oh, recuerdo de ayer, South Dakota doesn't have much oil. But North Dakota has a lot of oil. And New Mexico has a lot of oil. And Louisiana has a lot of oil. Does California have a lot of oil? Yes and no. Yes, California. Does Alaska? Alaska has a lot of oil too. Okay, very good. And was Texas a state 100 years ago? Yes, it was. Was Texas a state of the United States 200 years ago? No, it wasn't. What was it? 200 years ago. In the year 1820, Texas was officially part of Spain, a territory of Spain, officially. But really, it was a territory of Mexico. I don't understand. Okay, listen. Mexico was independent from Spain in 1810. 1810. But the independence wasn't officially recognized until 1821. So in 1820, Texas was still officially a territory of Spain. But unofficially, it was a territory of Mexico. And 20 years later, 20 años más tarde, 20 years later, what, in 1840? In 1840, Texas was a republic, an independent country, like Spain today. Texas was an independent country. And 30 years later in 1850, in 1850, Texas was a state in the United States. Oh, and who was the king of Spain in 1850? The king of Spain? There wasn't a king in Spain. The queen of Spain in 1850 was Isabella II. Isabella II. Oh, really? And who was the king of Spain 100 years before? 100 years before. In 1750. Yes, who was the king of Spain in 1750? The king of Spain in 1750 was Ferdinand VI. Yes, Fernando VI. Yeah, Ferdinand VI. He was the king of Spain in 1750, I think, in 1750. And who was the king in 1650? 100 years before. You're testing my patience. All right. The king of Spain in 1650 was Philip IV. Philip the Fourth. Okay. And was Velázquez famous, the painter, in 1650? Yes, he was. He was. Was Miguel de Cervantes still alive in 1650? Alive? Yes, alive is the opposite of dead. Dead is muerto. Alive is vivo. Vivito y coleando. Alive, vivo y coleando. We say alive and kicking y dando pataditas, como un bebé que es recién nacido ya está dando pataditas. Alive and kicking. Alive, dead. Alive, dead. Se busca, vivo, muerto. Wanted, dead or alive. So, excuse me, what was the question? I don't remember. You don't remember? No, I don't remember. What was? What was the question? Había dos preguntas. There were two. What were? What were the questions? What were the questions? No, there was only one question. Well, what was it? What was it? I don't remember now. Ah, was Miguel de Cervantes alive in 1650? In the year 1650? No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Was he alive 100 years before? In 1550? Yes, he was. He was very young. Yeah, he was, I think he was 8 years old. I think he was born in 1542, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Or maybe 1548, I don't remember. But was he a good writer? Yes, he was. Was he a poet? Yes, he was. Was he a novelist? Yes, he was. Was he a playwright? A what? Playwright. Jugada correcta. Play? No, play. Play, como verbo, to play, significa jugar, yeah, to play. To play tennis. O tocar, to play the violin. But a play is una obra de teatro. Oh, a play. Yes, yes, a play. Now, playwright, right no es correcto, o razón aquí. Es con una W muda. Playwright is dramaturgo. Was he a playwright? Yes, he was a playwright too, but he wasn't successful. He wasn't what? He wasn't successful as a playwright. O sea, no era exitoso, o sea, no tenía éxito. No, he wasn't successful as a playwright. Lope de Vega was a contemporary of Cervantes. And Lope was a very successful playwright in Madrid, well, in the world. But Cervantes wasn't a successful playwright. Was he a successful poet? No, he wasn't. He wasn't a successful poet. Was he a successful novelist? Yes, he was. He was a very successful novelist. Richard, yes. Are you a successful novelist? No, I'm not. Were you a successful novelist 10 years ago? No, I wasn't. Were you a poet 10 years ago? No, I wasn't. Well, what were you 10 years ago? An English teacher, like today. Al igual que hoy, like today. I work as an English teacher. I was an English teacher 10 years ago, and I'm still an English teacher. I'm still an English teacher. And next year, I'll still be. Futuro aquí, simple. I'll still be an English teacher next year if I'm alive. I was an English teacher last year. I'm an English teacher now. I'll be an English teacher next year. You were probably you were, or you were probably, an English student last year. And you're a student now. Will you be an English student next year? Will you be an English student for the rest of your life? Yes. Probably I will be an English teacher for the rest of my life. All right. Was Luigi Borghini in Stuttgart last week? In Stuttgart, Germany? No, he wasn't. Where was he last week? He was in Verona. Why was he in Verona? Excuse me. Why was Luigi Borghini in Verona last week? Well, because he lives in Verona. Does he? Yes, he does. Are you sure? Yes, I am. Does he really live in Verona? Yes, he does. Was he in Verona last week? Yes, he was. Will he be in Verona next week? I don't know. Probably he will. All right. Do you know Luigi Borghini? Yes, I do. Are you an expert on Luigi Borghini? Well, no, no, I'm not an expert, but I know a lot. Well, I know a little bit about Luigi Borghini. Well, what nationality is he? Well, he's Italian. Where is he from? He's from a small village near Verona. This is Luigi Borghini. Yeah. Ask me questions about Luigi. Okay. What questions? Ask me anything. Lo que sea. Ask me anything. Ask me whatever you want about him. About him. Yeah, about me, no, about him. All right, is Luigi Italian? Well, yes, he is. Was he in Verona last week? I'm not sure. Luigi, were you? I'll ask him. Just a second. Just a second, okay? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Just a second. I'll ask him. Luigi, were you in Verona last week? He says he was. He says he was. All right. Ask me more questions. Was he married 10 years ago? Well, yes, he was. Are you sure? Well, yes, he was married 10 years ago. He has 2 children. He has Anna Borghini, and she's 27. And Roberto Borghini, I think he's 22 or 23. All right. Was he married 30 years ago? I don't know. Ask him. Okay. Just a second. Just a second. Just a second. Say justo un segundo. Say, es la forma más corriente de espera. Espera un momento. Un momento. Just a second. Just a second. De hecho, es tan corriente que mucha gente dice just a sec. Cortando second. Espera un sec. Un seg. Just a sec. Just a second. Were you married 30 years ago? No. He says he wasn't. He says he was. He says that he wasn't. El that dice que no estaba casado. He says that. El that es opcional y lo solemos saltar. He says he wasn't. He says he wasn't. Well, ask him if he was. Well, Anna's 27. His daughter is 27. So ask him if he was married 29 years ago. Were you married 29 years ago? No, he says he wasn't. Okay. So, ask him if he was married 28 years ago. Were you married 28 years ago? He says he was. All right, he says he was. Ask him if he was in love with his wife 28 years ago. Que si estaba enamorado de su mujer. Luigi, were you in love with your wife 28 years ago? He says he was. Ask him if he's still in love with his wife. Luigi, are you still, no digas are you. Are you still in love with your wife? He says he is. He says he is. Ask him if his wife is from Verona. Luigi, is your wife from Verona? He says she's not. Well, ask him where his wife is from. Luigi, where is she from? She's from your village. She's from the same small village near Verona. and ask him how far the village is from Verona. Just a second. Luigi, how far is the village from Verona? Oh, okay. The village is 5 kilometers from Verona. So basically, Luigi and his wife are from Verona, and according to Luigi, según él, according to, no according with, according to Luigi, they're still in love. They're? No, they are. They are. According to Luigi, they're still in love. Thank you, Luigi, for answering. Thank you for answering his questions or her questions. Thank you for answering. For es una preposición. Gracias por contestando. Literalmente es lo que decimos. Gracias por contestar las preguntas. Thank you for answering the questions. All right. Luigi, yes, he is from a small town near Verona, and his wife is as well. Okay, are you ready? Let's stop, and I'll see you tomorrow.